What's up guys, this is Gabe/Ketsu. I'm back to another crappy video. We're just going to quickly go through what we've done to the macros. Like, obviously a lot of it is just we haven't played WoW in so long we can't even remember how anything works, and obviously how much effort we put into it. But so the first thing, we put the tricks of the trade into just at the front of the macro, so it just happens automatically. And it because another thing is like testing when macros break, like how much shit. Sometimes you can put more than you think and it doesn't break. So we just chucked target the tank, cast tricks of the trade. So that's automatic when you're pressing DPS key. So if we just go to the game and just start fighting, you can see the tricks of the trade buff. It's just going off all the time. And if it's off cooldown, you have to check like whether it breaks macros. Like sometimes macros break when skills are off cooldown and it tries to cast them. But usually you can have at least one or two of these at the start. So that's just that. Oh, we had the mount macro because we thought maybe you could ride. I thought maybe you could ride the flying mounts, just walk along the ground, but so we had to convert them back to the normal land mount. So if we just walk out of here, everyone mounts, and that leads into this one here. Pally Crusader Aura is activated on mount as well. So obviously the macro is the same. You just have to change the text to whatever your thing's called. And then on the priest, and see how that macro was just in a normal 255 macro, but for the priest, because you're adding a buff check for Crusader Aura, it no longer fits. And this is where like the 255 character limit, it's gone so quickly when you have to do loops to check for buffs. So check for Crusader buff, cast it, then mount, then follow, and obviously change the name. So that's that. Just on the rogue, we actually spec'd to test out backstab, because like, you know, like the base damage is so high, right? How can this not be the best skill? And with a fully backstab thing, your backstabs can hit for 2k. Let's just find someone. What does this hit for? With a crit. 2 hits non-crit, 1k. So like with a fully backstab thing, you can get 2k backstabs every hit for the same for slightly less cost because all the talents. But then you just don't have a finisher. Eviscerate does less damage than backstab. And then you just have, like, the talents are worse. You don't have as much combo point generation. So whatever damage you gain on backstab, you lose it, because Eviscerate sucks, and the poison one without the poison stuff sucks. And then you lose the cut to the chase and all that shit. So any damage that you gain on backstab, you lose. And plus, obviously you have to be in backstab position. So in AoE pulls, like when you're multi-boxing, it's harder. It'll be less effective. We added on the DK pet passive, but I don't think this works, because when you summon the whatever it's called, this is the super one. Ray's dead. Like this. When you cast this... Oh, you're actually out of the juice. We need to add more corpse dust. Item... dust? Corpse dust? Oh, that's another thing we didn't think about, right? When you cast this, it doesn't give you a pet bar. So, do you have any control over this thing? I don't actually know. So what we did, I don't think it works because it's not a pet. It's when we played Hunter, we would do it. So like, yeah, pet attack, and then on your follow key, you put pet passive, but this is not a pet, so because it just aggroes. Fuck, we press keys. It just aggroes stuff when you're walking around. So that was a failure. We have to like investigate with that one. Oh, I guess we can. It doesn't really matter because it doesn't work. Because that's what you would do with like a hunter pet. So when you follow, you can stop it from aggroing everything automatically. But this doesn't work. Then on the Fury we added intercept. Oh shit. Shit's respawning. We fat finger V all the time. So in both AoE and Thingo we added this to the start. So if you're in combat and intercepts off cooldown, and this part is because they changed the ranges, so you have to be within, you have to be more than 5 and less than 25. So these are, like back in the day we used this more, check interact distance, to do certain things before we found out better ways to do it. This is a function that returns the distance between you and, in this case, target, and there's presets 1 to 4, and you can look it up on the API, but 3 is, I can't remember, it's like the shorter one, and this is the longer one. So if you're within, if either of these are true, then you can intercept, so you should. And you have the mana for it, because it costs 10, yeah. So this is like a giant for loop with, what, 4 checks? Do the thing. And you just put that at the front of both, and then when you can spam Thingo, and it just does it. So if we just find a mob. And so that's a case where like we added all this code and it didn't break the macro, so it's weird. Like sometimes you can just add shit and it continues to work. So if we Blood Rage, and then we have the cooldown here. He was out of combat, so he used Thingo. So we just kill him real quick, and then find the second mob. Oh, well, we don't have any rage. Fuck. It's hard to like show it, right? Let's just melee swing. God damn it. Fuck off. He charged again, fuck. Because it's always on cooldown.
I can't use that item yet.
It's just you're out of combat, because you only want to do it, yeah, you have to do like a chain AoE pull for it to go off. It's better when the tank can just do it. I don't know if we can show it.
It's not.
Yeah, there's the intercept. So I was just pressing 1, like I didn't press a extra key to like do that. Yeah, so that's like a case where you can add like crazy shit and it didn't break the macro. Because again, back in 1.12, this is not a long macro, man. The limit was 9,999 characters. My priest macro actually was 9,999 characters, and it still worked, and it was amazing. So that's just that. We added cooldown. This was just for before the dungeon. We needed to add cooldowns. Let's go, and decursive, but we didn't end up using it. DK, we just added more runic dump because the DK is split into 5 keys. He wasn't dumping the runic often enough, so all we did was the order is Chaos Rhyme Oblit. So Chaos has the first line. Does it? No. Rhyme has it. This line here, if you've got more than, because you're saving it at least one cast for the proc. Otherwise dump, and then we just chuck that same line, I think in Oblit. Did we put it here? Yeah. So we put the same line in Oblit. Just have two dump checks. It's not a big deal. So that's just that. We already did that, and then we just added use trinket because we had the abacus, or we weren't even using it still, and so we just added use 1314, and we got this from a quest. So that's just in every single DPS macro. Use 1314. So whenever you go into we can just press it and it triggers. But was it a thing that they don't actually stack? I can't remember. You can only have one of them. I can't remember if that's a thing. That's the clock?
I can't use that item yet.
So you can't use them both. Wait, no, they were off cooldown. What? You use one. We still have the other one. Oh, it's you can't use both trinkets make other trinkets go on cooldown. So when you're spamming it, it triggers one and then it triggers the other one. Okay, I didn't know that. So there you go. So you technically want to use this one, the longer one first. 10 seconds, 20 seconds. So you technically want to use that one first. But depending on which line in the macro is going off, like... whichever one will fire. That's not a big deal, like... people would probably do that in normal WoW anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It wasn't... not a whole lot of, additions, but obviously it's, you know, remembering how to play the game, remembering random stuff, and then as you need stuff, you just add it when you need to. So that's going to be it. Until the next time. Goodbye.